Okay, what we're going to show you today is how to convert these dried red chili pods into a chili puree that you can use for chili Colorado, enchiladas, menudo, pozole, all kinds of different stuff. We'll show you how to do that towards the end of the video. But it all starts by getting some southern New Mexico preferred hatch red chili. These chilies were either grown this year and dried. They started out as green and now they're red. They're the same as the green, but now they've been dried, now they're red. And what we're going to do is now convert this stuff into a usable puree that we can use it. So it starts with these chilies. Be sure to have rubber gloves on, face mask, a garbage can handy, safety glasses, etc. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to take them out of the bag. We're going to break the stems off along with the top of the chili, shake them and try to get as many of the seeds out of them as possible. So I'm going to do this procedure a couple of different times so you can see how to do it. And then after you've got the seeds out of them, just lay them aside because we're going to have to wash them here to get the dust off of them here after a while. Again, inspect your chili. If you see like in here it has a little white spot, tear that off. That's a mold that happens occasionally when they're drying, but it doesn't affect the rest of the chili. Go ahead and tear the stems off and open them up and dump the seeds out. Again, I'll show it to you again. Anyway, the seeds and the stems, there's no use for them. Be sure to discard them. Now, here's almost a perfect chili. See how easy? Just tear the top of the chili off, stick your finger in it, turn it upside down, seeds fall out of it. And there you go. Okay, now we're going to take those chilies and we're going to put them in water. And the purpose of putting them in water is just to get the dust off of them. We are not trying to soften them like we will later with boiling water. Right now, it's just get the dust off of them, and any remaining seeds, most of the remaining seeds will come out and float around inside while they're doing this.
And some of the seeds might hang in there, and that's okay.
Yeah, there may be some seeds, and there they are down at the bottom of the drain. You might want to throw those away as opposed to letting them run down the drain. So you don't want to plug anything up. And so now, after they're cleaned and they're sitting there, they're all clean now, we're getting ready to put them into a pot of boiling water. Boiling water is what's going to soften everything for us. Okay, here's our bowl of chili. Our pot of water that's about ready to boil with the chili pods that have been cleaned and getting ready to soften them to where we can start the process of turning them into a puree. You want to boil these for at least 30 minutes till they're nice and soft. Okay, now that they've been boiling for a little while, they're just beginning to get soft, but they're still not soft enough. We want to continue to boiling until they're really soft and pliable, just like when they were when they're green, even more so. Okay, here they are. They've been boiled for half an hour or so. You see there's some really rich red water. The red color is coming from the chilies. The chilies are super soft now. So now we're going to take those chilies and we're going to put them in a blender, and my wife's going to tell you what's happening.
So we're just taking a few of the chilies out. You don't want to overfill your blender because that can be a mess. That's experience talking. And then you're going to cover them with water. And after you've done a couple of these, you'll kind of get a feel for how much chili and how much water to put in there. But you basically cover the chilies with water. And then you just start blending on low, and you can increase the speed bit by bit until you get it up to pretty high and get everything pretty well blended.
Now, when they're blended, that means the seeds are also blended. These skins have also been blended, and you don't want the skins in your final product. So there has to come a way of getting rid of the skins. We found this food strainer to be an ideal way to do that. You can do it by, after blending, pouring your puree into a conical potato ricer or some kind of a strainer. But this is by far the easiest way to do it, is by a food strainer similar to this. So you pour the puree in there. Remember, it's got skins and everything in it. You have a bowl, bowl down below to catch the chili meat, and a bowl on the end to catch the skins and the seeds, and then you start cranking. As you can see, the seeds are coming out one end, and the chili is going into the bowl below after it's been through the strainer. So as you continue on turning, the chili continues to come out.
You have nice, rich chili puree there.
With no skins, no seeds, no anything, just pure chili. Unseasoned, but pure chili. Now what you want to do is finish scraping the chili off of the strainer in your bowl. And you're going to take that chili meat and you're going to pour it into a bigger bowl where we're going to use later to put this chili in the bags for freezing. But anyway, put it back underneath your strainer and take your seeds that are at the end of your strainer and throw them away. Well, there you go. Take your seeds and just throw them away. No use for them. Not as chili enhancers for pizza or anything else. It's just throw them away. So now to prepare for freezing, we take cookie sheets with parchment paper on it and quart bags, freezer bags.
And we kind of fold those bags open because it's real easy to get chili into the seal, and that makes it not seal properly. So we fold it over like that, and then you can scoop as much as you like in there. We use quart bags. We used to use pint bags, but you can't find those anymore. So we use the quart bags.
About half full.
And they're about half full. We do it that way so that we can lay them out flat and get them to freeze, and they take up less space in the freezer.
Looks like you got all the air out of them too.
Yeah, we want to burp all the air out.
So don't stack them any more than 2 layers deep. Then put them in the freezer where there's plenty of air movement to circulate around them until all the bags are frozen.
Okay, it looks like we are now getting ready to make some chili Colorado. And by doing this, we start out with, we got a couple of pounds of thinly sliced pork. And we're just kind of patting that down in the pan. There's a bit of oil in the bottom underneath that. And so we start seasoning. We add salt. And I'm going to guess at these quantities, about a teaspoon or so of salt. I'm not one of those cooks who follows the recipe to the T. So anyway, then we sprinkle in some freshly ground pepper. That's a pepper grinder that you see there. We're going to go from that to adding a teaspoon of Mexican oregano. Oh no, that's not what we've got there. This is not in order.
I think that's the all-season salt.
Okay, I think that's just a little bit of all-season salt. So that teaspoon of salt is split between all-season and regular salt. And you can just use regular salt. We were just being fancy for the video. Okay, now we have garlic powder and a generous amount of garlic powder. Keep you healthy. And we guessed it, another teaspoon of garlic powder there. And we next have some smoked paprika, and you can put this in or leave this out. We just like the extra little flavor that adds. Not everyone uses all the spices that we stick in there. We just have fun with spices at our house. And we have cumin here, and I apologize for my cumin shaker. We've replaced that thing now. It was sticking and little teeny tiny holes, and so it looks like we're putting a lot of cumin in there, but we are not. We're only putting about 1/4 of a teaspoon in. Some people put more cumin than that. I'm not a big fan of too much cumin, so just a little bit. Even though it looks like there's a lot going in there, there's really not. And then here's our Mexican oregano. And we like the Mexican oregano because it just, the flavor goes so well with chili. If you don't have that available, you can use regular oregano, and you kind of squeeze that between your hands, as you can see. I like to add a little bit of chipotle, just ups the flavor profile a little bit. And we've just got maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of the chipotle in there.
I notice you're not stirring the meat. You're just letting it sit there and stick, kind of, right?
That's right. We don't want to stir the meat because then you get all the nice juices out of the meat. So you can see it. We let it just sit there until it gets kind of done. And then you'll get flavor on the bottom. You get that nice browning, and that's going to add flavor to your chili.
Looks like it's stuck but not burned.
Right, it just sticks a little bit. You start stirring it around, it'll pop loose. You can see we're getting a little bit of flavor there on the bottom. You just kind of blend that and let it continue to brown for a little bit. And as I said, we like a little bit of browning on the meat because it just ups the flavor of the chili. Now we're going to add some flour. And depending on how much you're using, about a tablespoon or so for every couple of cups of chili that you're going to be adding. And we stir that in there and let the flour cook in a little bit so you don't have that taste of the flour. We're just going to have the benefit of it kind of thickening up the sauce a bit. And now, depending on how much of your chili puree you add to this, we like to use it like this and add a lot of chili and use it as red enchiladas. And my husband likes the meat part in his enchiladas. I like mostly just the chili myself, but here you can see we're adding that chili into the meat now.
And the chili's not seasoned, right? It's just pure chili.
The chili has not had any seasoning
bland
to it at all. So it's bland, and it's going to take a bit of salt, and you're going to have to kind of salt it to your own taste. We've got some beans going back there because we're using this particular batch as carne elevada. So it's a nice one bowl meal that we like to have, nice and comforting, especially in the cooler weather.
So this is under low heat, right? Because it doesn't look like it's boiling.
No, it's just coming up to temperature because we've just added the cold puree there. And if you've had it frozen, you thaw it, and if it doesn't thaw all the way, it'll finish thawing in the pan when you get it in there. And we're going to season it all over again. We're adding some more salt. And again, like I said, you need to do it to your own taste there. And we're just layering the flavors with all those same spices we talked about earlier. Got a little bit more Mexican oregano going in there. And those amounts I gave you before are the total between the two additions of spices that we have there.
So now after it sits there and it cooks for maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, we're going to simmer it for maybe 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes, depending on the amount of time you have. But just turn the heat down low because it will stick if you get it up too high while you're trying to simmer.
Again, you're not going crazy with the spices, just a little bit more to flavor the chili.
Just kind of layer your flavors. Some of the flavors of the spices will come off the meat into the chili, but we like to make sure we've got all those good spices flavoring the chili puree as well.
And then from here, we're going to put them in bowls and add some beans. We're going to heat up flour tortillas on a pan. We're going to make a bowl of carne elevada with beans and tortillas. Well, there's the tortilla heating up on a flat pan.
Yum. That's going to be a good dinner.
You want to cook it just a little bit so it got some toasty taste onto it. I don't know what happened to the color here, but it's still red. Just looks funny under these lights.
Yeah, I think the lights got funny.
Scoop it into a bowl. Put some beans and onions on top. Chopped onions if you like. Along with your flour tortilla.
A little grated cheese if you like.
Okay.